I will share my screen. So hello everyone, welcome to the webinar.
I think let's wait a little bit, Jing, because
yes,
I don't
I will let
know if you see participant come in, join in. I don't see them yet.
I just say hello everyone.
You see? Yeah, sorry. Good morning. So should we start? Is it okay?
Yes, I think we can start.
So, okay, since I don't see participant, but if you see them comment, it means that it works. So just a brief and quick presentation from mine, and then I'll leave the floor to the team. Good morning, everybody. My name is Siali Assus. I'm the head of Join the School in France. I'm very, very happy to be here today with some colleagues and partners. We'll have the presentation of emlyon by Mark Smith, Dean of Programs. Hello, Mark. We'll hear the experience of Tanisha Parmar, student and ambassador of the MEME program at emlyon. Hello, Tanisha. And for Join the School in France, it will be my colleague, Jiying, International Project Manager, who will be presenting the Join the School in France process. So as I said, today we'll highlight emlyon Business School, which is part of Join the School in France. Join the School in France is part of the French Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Paris. We are here we exist since 1984 as part of the SAI program, Service des Admissions Internationales, and we represent the international streamlined application process for one program, that is the Master in Management program for 5 schools that Jiying will be discussing in a bit: HEC Paris, ESCP, emlyon Business School, Audencia, and Schema. And I leave the floor to Jiying to present the Join the School in France process.
Okay, thank you, Siali. So hello everyone. So my name is Jiying Ye. So I'm an international program manager at Join School in France. So thank you for today to join webinar. I will walk you through the application process for the Master in Management program at the Join School in France, and explain how you can apply the 5 business school with a single application. And any question you have, you can write in the chat, and we will answer all your questions at the end. So what is Join School in France? So we were created in 1984 as the International Admission Department of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Île-de-France region in Paris, working with business schools to simplify the application process for the international student. And every year, hundreds of candidates take advantage of this simple process to attend one of French top business schools and participate in interview with alumni. We have more than 70 interview centers and about the 1,000 more candidates each year, and the candidate from more than 20 different nationalities. So we have simply the application process with the 5 business schools: HEC Paris, ESCP, emlyon, Schema, and Audencia. You only need to apply with one application to the Master in Management program at these 5 business schools. So one application, one interview, 5 opportunities. So what's the process of the applying through Join School in France? The process is simple. First, you apply online on our official website and upload 10 documents and complete 5 motivation questions before the deadline. And second, the school will publish the interview result and invite you to pass an interview. Thirdly, you will be the invited one interview. And fourthly, the school will analyze the final admission result. After the school will contact you directly, so you don't have to stress too much about the timeline. We will send you email to remind you as well. We often get the same question. What is the difference between the joint school in France selection process and applying directly to the member school? This is no different at all. By applying through joint school in France, you have the unique advantage of applying to 5 business school with a single application. It means saving your time, your effort, and money. And regardless of which application modes you choose, all application will be assessed equally and fairly. Applying through joint school in France or directly to the school will not affect your chance of admission. So if you apply to both, the school will only accept one of the earliest applications. You may be curious about what kind of profile we are looking for. We are looking for the student with a higher education outside of the France. So whether it is a bachelor degree or banker or the license, if you have not yet graduate, you should be in the last year of your degree. We are not limited to the field of your major. This is a list of documents you need to prepare. So 10 documents is very easy: CV, passport, handshot photo, 2 letter of recommendation, which can either be academic or professional. It's important that we can see your reference content detail. Graduate transcript, degree, or final year certificate of attendance. Management tests include GMAT Focus, GRE, Short GRE, TouchMat, and CAT. You need a report of your scores within 5 years. I think a CAT for Indian candidate need just 1 year. English test, you need a report of your score within 2 years. If you are studying at the university in an English-speaking country, you don't need to take an English test. Simply up to your English language certificate or academic transcript. If English is your official language of your country, you only need to upload copy your passport. And the last one is joint school in France payment invoice. It is 220 euro. So when you apply, you need to pay attention to the master in management test. Management test, sorry. It's mandatory for GRE and GMAT. For GMAT or GMAT focus, you need to select joint school in France as one of recipient. For GMAT score report, for now is not available for download. So please upload the screenshot, include each score where we can see each score very clearly. For GRE, you need to select joint school in France, the code 1259. As one of the recipient also, we will check the score for the schools, so it's very important for us. TouchMat French test, visit their website for test. And TASM is new management test. If you are interested about it, please contact us to help you register. So we will talk about the interview. So with a single application, you apply to 5 business school as well. You only need to attend one interview for all the school you are shortlisted for. So whether you are shortlisted for the one school or 3 or 5, your interview will cover all schools. So you don't need to worry. If you are eligible for at least one school, you will be invited to an interview at one of our interview centers, such as Campus France, Alliance Française, CCE, or French Embassy. You can choose a city where you would like to attend your interview. So interview will take 20 to 30 minutes in English, and organize this face-to-face within the jury of 2 or 3 alumni. So alumni from 5 business schools. The question include personality, motivation, professional project, general knowledge, and other things. So if there is no interview center in your area, you can take an online interview also. You just need to send us email in advance and to propose to us. So here's the timeline for application. So round 1, round 2, and round 3 application are closed. So for now, round 4 application are in process, and the deadline is April 17th. This gives you plenty time to prepare your document, at least near the 1 month, so it's you still have time. So your interview date will depend on the city you choose. So please make sure you are available for your interview. If you need a reminder, you can always find the notice update and detail on our official website, Jiying School in France. And one more special information, we may open the 5th round of application, but it's not confirmed yet. We will give exactly information at the end of April or beginning of the May. So for now, its best option is apply for 4th round. Don't miss this opportunity. So you can scan the QR code on the left to schedule a 15 minutes one-on-one meeting with one of our international program manager. You can also send us email with any question you may have. If you are interested, you can scan the QR code on the right to start your application and visit our official website to discover more about the 5 business schools and this program. You can find all the information on our official website. And you can find all of our social media. You just search Jiying School in France. For Chinese social media, also you also can just search Jiying School in France. You also can find us. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have any question, please feel free to write them in the chat. And for now, we will let emlyon Business School and let Mark to introduce.
Mark, the
Hello,
floor
can
is
you
all
hear me
yours.
okay?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I'm just going to make sure I share my screen. 1 second. Are we looking? Oh no, we have the wrong way around. Okay, just 1 second. I'm going to share the other screen.
So in the meantime, just to remind that for Jiying School in France, the 4th round is open until April 17th, right, Jing?
Yes.
That's the date. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can send them to our team. Yes, now we see your slides. We see your presentation, Mark.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm on 2 different screens here, so I'm just making sure I can see everybody. Okay. Okay, so hello everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Mark Smith. I'm the Dean of Programs here at emlyon in France. And currently talking to you from the beautiful building that you can see on the screen in front of you. And I'm here with Tanisha, who's one of our students on the Masters in Management program. And we're going to give you a bit of an overview of the school, of the program, of how you the details inside the program, and also a little bit about the fee structure, and perhaps the most important thing, about where people go afterwards in their careers. So let me give you a quick overview. So that's what we're going to talk about today. A little bit about who we are, our new campus, the program, funded scholarships, career centre, and then Tanisha is going to give you the lowdown on living in Lyon and life in and around the school at the heart of the city, and with plenty of time for questions at the end. So we're a French school in France, as you heard through that, as membership of the Join a School in France consortium. But we're also a major global player, one of the top schools in France, and perhaps one of the oldest. We were around it's over 150 years, and one of that elite group in the world that accounts for about 120 to 130 schools right now, that are the Triple Crown, the ones with the 3 accreditations of the Americans, the AACSB, the Europeans, Equus, and Amber, the UK version. Now, that gives us an elite status in the world, but we also have an elite status in relation to in terms of our rankings via QS, via Financial Times, but also in France, we're consistently at least 4th in the French context, if not higher. And in that all important area of employability, we rank actually 2nd. So we're really quite proud of that. We work hard to maintain that position, not for our own interest, but as such for the reputation of students and graduates that leave us. That notion of employability is particularly important for us, because we feel it's like our promise to students coming into the school, and we have a range of different events throughout the year that help that bring employers to our campus here in Lyon or in Paris if you end up being there. And we also have invested most recently in a range of different services to support particularly international students to gain access to employment in the European environment. So if you come from elsewhere, we have invested in recently in databases to support people looking for jobs in English in and around Europe, and also with different AI tools to support the evolution of your CVs and practicing for interviews, etc., as well as training people in their competencies in French so they can conversationally work in France. But we also have a number of other unique dimensions to us that help improve our employability, including things like our immersive pedagogy, like in terms of the makers pedagogy. I'll say a little bit more about that in a second. Our huge alumni network, and also the close contacts with staff, which allow people to connect to the labour market. Oh, it doesn't want to move. Right, doesn't it? There we go. I mentioned our alumni. We have around 45,000 alumni around the world in 130 different countries, and every year we have around 9,000 students coming through the school. So we're constantly adding to that stock. But that alumni network functions thanks to volunteers and ambassadors and network chapters around the world, and we have different communities in around 50 different locations across the world, and that provides support for those people for people looking for jobs or for internships in different locations, but also perhaps mentoring and other options. And our alumni service joins people together in that sense. As I said, I was talking to you from our new campus here in Lyon. So we moved here about 6-7 months ago, I guess, and it's from our previous campus, which was outside of Lyon, and now we're right in the heart of Lyon, and that brings a number of sort of exciting elements to our offer and to the life of being in a student. Number one, it's possible to live and travel and get around much more easily inside Lyon. So we feel like we're at the heart of the city, and we're well connected by tram, by metro, by bus, and by bicycle, or even by walking. And one of the things we're quite proud of is that we're very committed to our zero carbon approach by 2030, and a very low impact on the wider environment. So this whole campus, all 30,000 square meters of it, doesn't have any parking, and so everybody must come to school by some what the French call transport douce, or soft transport, in order to walk the talk, if you like, of our engagement for society and for the climate. And so even our president, she comes to school on an electric bicycle. So it's like it's everybody's doing that. And Lyon is a nice flat city for the most part, and pretty easy to get around in that sense. Either by bicycle if you're walking if you wish, but also by metro and tram. But the other great thing about the new campus is we have this modern space which combines lots of classrooms, lots of breakout rooms, lots of areas where people can do group work and different activities like that, along with more sort of open spaces like the ones you can see on the screen in front of us. And that allows people to do their different types of projects and the different types of work that they need to as part of their studies or just about engaging in the association life of the school. And perhaps the third advantage of being, or third point of pull out from our new location in the centre of the city, is we're right at the heart of the ecosystems of the city. So whether that's the startups and incubated companies around the school's own incubator, we have the oldest incubator in French among French business schools, but also we have we're connected to, for example, top employers in the area, whether that's consultancy companies or big four type accounting and audit companies, but also health companies. So there's Lyon is a center for health technologies, and the World Health Organization's here. We have the Sanofi Pasteur, we have bioMérieux, all these big multinationals in pharmaceuticals, and they're all connected closely to us as well. We've actually just, in that vein, we've just opened a new track or new specialized track in biopharma to recognize that connectivity to the wider ecosystem. I'm sure there's more I can say, but I should probably say something about the program. So our Master's in Management program. So our Master's in Management program is recognized by the state. It's as a master's degree based on 2 years. Now that involves core courses, but also a lot of choice. And characteristic of both our program is lots of different entry points. So you being one of those people coming from joining a school in France, but we have many other entry points as well. So there's a diverse range of students who are a mixture of people doing management courses, but also with other backgrounds as well. So that enriches the environment. And one of the things we stand for, as well as that commitment to climate change and to our responsibility to the wider society, is also the idea of hybridization of knowledge. That straight managers that just understand management were perhaps not best equipped for the future, because they need to cross that with understanding of other aspects, whether it's engineering or hard sciences or arts or health sciences. And through that, they're better equipped to work with people at different types of colleagues in the future, and understanding their expertise, not to become experts in other domains, but to understand those experts as well. So that idea of hybridization is enriched by the multiple ways that people come into the program. Now, once in the program, people do fundamental courses, things you might expect on a Master's in Management program: human resource management, organizational behavior, corporate finance, accounting and control, marketing, etc., strategy. But we also do a range of what we call DNA courses, which I'll say a little bit about on the next page. But the DNA courses are things that we think really differentiate us from other Master's Management programs and give us a unique offer, and therefore our students, when they graduate, a unique profile and a unique outlook. As well as that, as well as those fundamentals and the DNA courses, there's many choices for specialized tracks or choices of electives that people can use to combine into tracks or just to pick on different specializations. On top of that, we have a program for responsible engagement to sort of reinforcing our notion of being a center for responsible management and sustainability. So students are required to do some work in terms of with the wider community, volunteering for the wider community, and also doing a makers project. Now, a makers project is based on overseeing a project A to Z. Now that means that students understand all the different steps that go on during that program, or during that process, sorry. So they from conceptualizing a project through to the planning, through to the delivery, realization. So that idea is that project is it helps you understand a little bit about project management, but also all the different steps and occupations and activities along the way. And you'll see the word makers used a lot around the school, because we're pioneers in this idea of makers pedagogy, where students are really immersed in learning by doing. So you learn about the theories and the concepts, but you also learn by doing and applying those things. So it's very much an idea of crossing the academic rigor of the school and the really top profs that we have in the school, along with the actual practical hands-on side of things. And you'll see that a little bit in some of those DNA things we'll talk about in a second. In year 2 of the program, they focus on those specializations and those choice of tracks, options for international degrees, international collaborations, and mobility. And even for some people, if you wish to take an apprenticeship approach whereby you can be working part-time in a company and part-time as a student. Now that requires that you're able to work in French, because most of those jobs tend to be more French-based, working for French companies. But it's an option available to students on what we call alternance. Now between that year 1 and year 2, there's as with lots of programs in France, we offer the option of a gap year. So you can take a pause in that year and do something else. Maybe you want to do a different degree, a 1-year sort of diploma or 1-year qualification. Maybe you want to extend a particular internship for a longer period. Maybe you want to undertake a particular social sustainability type project or something like that. So for example, students might go and become teachers somewhere. They might go on a traveling sustainability type project. Just give a very concrete example. One group of students 2-3 years ago, they traveled around the world completely on the ground as far as they could, and they made a film out of that, which is now a film that's now won quite a few prizes. And we actually use that film regularly in the school to talk about our commitment to sustainability, but also to demonstrate what you can do if you want to take advantage of that gap year. There's another nice view of the interior of the school there, and you can see how the full of light and space, and for collaboration. There's a bit more furniture in there now. I think that's taken when we were just moving in. So, but the things on the right side of the screen probably more interesting for you. The DNA courses. So we have 4 that we call as DNA courses. Firstly, we have recaps. So recaps is about applied research, where students learn how to conduct research, but also in terms of they learn from working with the top researchers in the school, working on particular topics like that may interest them as students, but also benefiting from the expertise inside the school. So one of the things I'm interested in, for example, is flexible working in the 4-day week. So that there are students right now working on that topic with other profs in the school, because we're piloting this innovation in how people might work 4 days, still do the same amount of work, have a different type of lifestyle. And that crosses our interests in innovation, in social sciences, in how organizations work, how wider society works, but it helps individuals and students develop their critical thinking. A whole range of different topics going on throughout all the different research expertise inside the school. We have a project, another course called Sustainable Futures. And in this program, or this course, sorry, with one of our leaders in this area, a prof called Thomas Gauthier, he takes students through this idea of how we imagine a different future. Because one of the things we can't change the past, but we can be active actors in the future. But if we want to be active actors for the future, we have to work out what we're going to change, what we would like to change. So in doing that, this course aims to expose students to thinking about different futures and then working out how to get there. So it's a little bit like a crossover of strategy and scenario planning, but also change management and transformation that allows students to be part of that change, but also thinking about what the change might be. And if you look on the internet for Thomas Gautier, you might find articles about him where he uses science fiction and other forms of fiction to help people understand different aspects of the future, and to almost to free their minds from the constraints of today. Because maybe if you look at the news around the world today, you're thinking we're in it's a sort of doom and gloom, but we need to look a bit further beyond that, and also think about the type of future we'd like to be part of and to work towards. Okay. Third on the list of DNA courses is business creation, and this program is a shorthand PCE, but a business creation project where students create a business from scratch, and then they have to present that in a competitive environment, in a kind of pitch. And that includes a business plan, that includes exploring the products, that includes market research, includes financing of how the project might work, etc. And so they can work right through and see the different steps involved of being an entrepreneur and developing a business. Now, it doesn't mean all of you have to become entrepreneurs and develop your own business, but by doing that, it helps you understand the different steps along the way and what you need to understand. So to give you a concrete example, one of the projects that won a prize in this last year, they developed this business plan based on making cakes, a French cake called a madeleine, which is like a sort of soft French cake about so big, but making it out of flour from lentils. So it was, on the one hand, it was actually healthy. On the other hand, it was actually relatively good for the environment, because you're growing something that's actually replenishes the aspects of the environment, so farmers can rotate. But it's all about organic lentil flour. But that team, they won because they explored every step of the process, right from the conceptualization of how you might make cakes differently through to how you would sell them to schools. And by selling these little cakes to schools, they would access a particular type of market, a particular type of market that was that they perceived as less competitive than the B2C market, business to customer, more business to business, B2B. So that's just one example of one of the many hundreds of projects that we ran last year. And last on this list is Prototype. So we are probably the only school, I think we are the only school in France with its own Fab Lab inside the school. We have a Fab Lab which is now twice as big as it was in the previous campus, where we have lots of different machines and and experts inside who can help you understand how to use those machines. But the Prototype course is based inside that lab, whereby students develop an idea and bring it from a concept into a concrete prototype. Now, that can be a prototype into something that has to be 3D printed. One example might be, for example, there was students last year, they developed a medicine dispenser. So for older people who they take many different tablets per day, they can't always remember which tablet they need to take. So they developed this console that dispensed medicine according to the needs of the older persons that they were looking after. But other projects include software, so it's actually a virtual project, like writing mini pieces of software for what we call triple LMs. Now, you've all heard of LLMs, large language models, but there's also there's something called a local large language model. And one of the things that we're expert in the Fab Lab is how to use those to make more environmentally friendly AI techniques that use the power of the computer in front of you, rather than one over in California or in some data center, wherever it might be, that might be burning lots of energy, but also is just unnecessary. You don't need that massive AI for every single problem. Sometimes it's called edge AI as well. You might have heard, if you're into AI, you might have heard of it described like that. So we have these different sorts of expertise, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's sustainable future and scenarios, whether it's research, whether it's prototyping in the Fab Lab, and we bring together to enrich our program. We have 180 faculty in the school, lots of different research centres, research institutes, research chairs that bring different levels of expertise. And all of those profs are actively engaged in teaching their specializations and in those second year choices that you will be able to take, ranging from different things in finance, in entrepreneurship, in economics and econometrics, in sustainability, Stratton consulting, research, soft side of leadership and HR, management, cultural activities, sport management, and artificial intelligence. In fact, we were one of the first to have an artificial intelligence institute in the school. We have a very strong stream of researchers in that particular domain. And if you had been in Paris last week, you would have seen that we also host the Women in Data Science event for France, jointly with Stanford. And so part of our Women's Month activities, we're very proud to have this expertise in data science, but also crossing it with our social responsibilities. So you can see the whole range of different specializations that we have inside the school and how they inform particular tracks, but also particular specializations, in individual specializations that you might want to take. So the overall master is based on perhaps those DNA courses that I outlined. Those unique approaches. So every student that comes through the school will, even those that go out to do double diplomas elsewhere, will have undertaken those courses, because we really believe it's important in a world of many business schools, in a world of many programs, you have this special emlyon flavor that allows you to that marks you out from other students from other business schools, and also equips you for the challenges ahead. Along with that, there's the spirit of employability and entrepreneurship. So the entrepreneurship comes through our connections with the incubator, the acceleration activities that we have within the incubator, which was recently relaunched after 40 years as Venture Labs. And there we host a whole particular expertise. We have a huge faculty as well working in entrepreneurship and innovation. We have lots of specialization tracks. So after that initial foundation year and those foundation courses, there's lots of different specializations. And then after that, there's lots of different double degrees that you can move on to, and lots of associations where students can participate. So really providing a unique combination of what we do in Lyon in terms of our academic research, our spirit of entrepreneurial pedagogy, the different options that we offer, and then also the different partnerships we have, both inside with our associations, but also outside. Just to give you a flavour of some of those international double degrees, they span the UK, Germany, Korea, Canada, India. I can't see what that one says there. China and China as well at the end there. So we have lots of different options in terms of partnerships, and I think, if I'm right in thinking, we have the most partnerships, around 240 of any of the top business schools in France. So we really spent a lot of effort into building those networks and giving lots of different options for students to travel around the world. Just a word on the funding, and then I'm nearly finished. I'll hand over to Tanisha. On the funding side of things, our annual fees are 21,400. Sorry, and if you do opt to take a gap year, it's €2,000 just to remain registered as a student. The opportunity for apprenticeship, in that sense, students take a lower wage and work for a company, but the company then picks up the tuition fees. But again, you have to make sure you're a French speaker for that. But the school has a whole range of different careers services and employee relations services that can help facilitate those things. But if you're not a French speaker, those careers services and employee relations also work on links with companies that are looking for English speakers, and perhaps speakers who have exposure to the country that you come from, China or India or South Korea or Australia or America, wherever it might be. And a little bit of an understanding of what goes on in France, because you provide a useful link for them and maybe their work back to your home country. And you can also see some of our partners there for the availability of different student loan arrangements. We also offer a range of different scholarships, particularly for those who are excellent in GMAT or Tarjmaj. I'm sure anybody's been on the join a school in France, I will know Tarjmaj is a sort of a test in English, but for incoming students to France for master's programs. So anybody with particularly high GMAT scores above 700, given a 10% discount on that first year fee. Of 650, 5%. In Tarjmaj, the same if you're above 400 or above 360. There's also individual scholarships based on need, and that means people have to fill in a scholarship request based on their application, and there's admission juries for that. But the Campus France website will have much more details about that, depending on where you come from as a student. So we finished just on a couple of words about the Career Centre, because our promise to you is about your employability and about where you go on to after that. That's also how it helps us in terms of our alumni network going to more places, to more diverse careers, to new sectors, etc. But also it's important for you because you invest in your education so that you can move forward with your own careers. So we have a career centre here in the business school, which, as I said before, was ranked number 2 in France in terms of employability by the Times Higher Ed, which is based on lots of different opportunities. We have different professional lecturers, from people coming to experts in career management and in defining careers, because maybe you don't know what you want to do. So that's the first step, is helping people work out what they want to do. There's opportunities for individual coaching in terms of thinking about where you might want to explore the particular ideas that you have in more detail. And we have individual coaching options that are managed through our job teaser website. So we have a portal or a platform that we use called Job Teaser, which has thousands and thousands of jobs opportunities, but also the other services that the school provides. And within that we also have many opportunities that are dedicated to students who speak English as their language rather than French. We have plenty of externals coming to the school in terms of visiting companies that want to talk to our students on particular programs or particular tracks, or also more generally. And that's going on regularly. Sometimes they're in person, sometimes they're online. And then we have a number of recruitment events across the year where we have dedicated moments for employers coming to the school. We have a big event at the start of the year. Next year we're hoping to have 2 events, because there were so many students and companies who wanted to visit this year. We decided to double up. But we also have dedicated events where employers come for expertise in strategy and in consulting, for example, or in finance, etc., where they're looking for particular types of profile. With that, you can see where our students tend to go. We have a lot going to audit and consulting. We have next biggest group will be in finance and banking, but also in technologies. We feel strong in all of those sectors, and particularly and you can see there lots working in consulting and research, administration, other functions, and marketing. High concentration of jobs in Europe, where we have our network, and that goes for our French students, but also for our students from overseas, with much smaller proportions. You can see in the rest of the world, with single-digit percentages in the Americas, Middle East, Africa, and in Asia. So it's really a lever in terms of getting people a foothold in the European labour market. And you can see our the sort of successful salary progression that you see among our students. We really are committed to this idea of employability. 87% of our students are employed by the end of the program, 100% employed within 6 months. So really keeping our promise in that sense. Okay, I hope that wasn't too long. I'm going to just pass over to Tanisha now. Who's going to give you a bit more of the other side of the story from a student side in terms of living and studying in Lyon.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanisha Parmar. Could you please tell me if I'm audible?
Good,
Yes, you are.
Tanisha.
Okay. Great. I am a first year student in Master in Management. I am from India and it's my second semester here in Lyon. So it's been about as long as the new campus has been open, I've been here. Hasn't been too long. And it's been a great time here. I am in an international classroom with people from all across the globe, and you can see some of my classmates here in the photos. And to give you a background about how I came into emlyon, I came via the Join a School France program where I applied to all 5 schools in one go. And after, depending on my needs, which were basically a course that offered great employability, has triple accreditation across, and great value in sustainability because that's the future right now. So according to that, and given how I also wanted some flexibility with having a gap year, having multiple options like double degrees of or apprenticeship, I decided emlyon was the best fit for me. And the school integration had been in the first few weeks had been really smooth, while for international students specifically, because we are new to the country and new to the city as well, we really don't know how to move around, like where to get our where to get our tram or metro cards, or how can we economize on our expenses, or what are the different associations which we can be a part of as an international student. So the early weeks were full of a lot of conferences and webinars where you could just sign up and attend, and you can speak to the current students, your seniors, some alumni as well who were present, and connect with them. Student life in emlyon, if I had to say, is vibrant to say the least. I am part of one of the associations called Collective Olymp, which is an association that works for women's entrepreneurship and female empowerment. And it has been despite being an international student, I was welcomed very warmly, and the collective does a lot for works with a lot of different associations in school and outside of school as well. And we have partnerships from across the country as well, so it's a really enriching experience. And every association is like that. They have partnerships with a lot of firms and enterprises outside of school, so you not only get to network with the current students, but you get to network with alumni and also external partners in us, while being part of the associations in emlyon. So that's a very, very big plus in my opinion. About living in Lyon, Lyon is a really beautiful city. It's very, very well connected, so you don't have to walk a lot from one place to another. Public transport is really smooth, and you can go from one end of the city to the other in less than an hour. There are a lot of cities around Lyon that you can explore in about 2 hours of journey, like Grenoble, Annecy, Marseille, and even you can also visit Geneva. So travel, you have a lot of opportunities to travel to different cities in the region where Lyon is situated. And there are a lot of amazing food places, and the deserts here are amazing. It's the gastronomic capital of the country, and I love the deserts here. I'm a big foodie, so I every week I'm exploring a new desert place in the city. So a lot of different things keep happening in the city. It's also the city of where the cinema was born. So you have film festivals that keep happening at the end of the year, plenty of museums for you to explore, and a lot of associations from the country that you are part of are also there. For example, I am from India, and there is an Indian association in the city. My Chinese friends tell me there's a Chinese association as well. So you not only connect with people from your school, but outside of your school and from your country, so you don't feel like you're missing home too much that way. You celebrate festivals together, and it's great. That's all from my end. If you have any questions I can address, please feel free to ask me.
There's a few pictures. Sorry, Tanisha, I should have turned on the picture in the next slide over for you when you were talking about the food.
Oh yes, the fourth picture with the colorful scenery, like the painting on the buildings. That's Fête des Lumières. It was amazing. It was my first time attending this year, and was so wonderful. It was mesmerizing. The city has a lot to offer, especially during the winter season, and you never run out of things to do here.
Thanks, Nisha.
Thanks,
Shall I
Tanisha.
put the slide so we can? I think that's time for questions. I think I would actually. I'm also. You might be able to hear from my accent that I'm not French either. So I'd also vouch for Lyon being a really, as Tanisha said, a really great city to live in, and somewhere that's where you can really live well as a student. You can also explore things around. And one other small city, which is only 2 hours away, is called Paris. So, it looks like I can see an Eiffel Tower behind your shoulder. Yeah. So it's really for those people who don't come from countries where there's high-speed rail. France is a champion for that, and it really is very easy to get around in that sense.
And
for
Tanisha did such a good description, a vivid description, that we even pictured the city, and for myself, the dessert. So thank you, Tanisha, for such a vivid description. And just to mention that some students faced some issues connecting to this webinar, but rest reassured, we are going to send a replay to the many applicants who registered. Worry not. For those of you who joined us, thank you so much. We had some questions that we have on the chat, but also that we have received by email. Maybe the first one was for emlyon, I think. What's the question? It was about scholarship deadlines that Mark, you did mention. So is applying for round 4, is it too late to meet the scholarship deadlines? Is it too late if you have still in mind the calendar? Deadline? Sorry?
For JSF scholarship deadlines or our
one? For is it too late now for applicants of round 4 to apply to your scholarships according to your calendar and deadlines, scholarship application deadlines? I don't
think so. No, I don't think so. As long as it's included with your application, no.
Okay, very good. And
maybe I want to add a more answer. It's like about offer the scholarship to students. It's because we receive a lot of question about it. Like Jiying school in France offer scholarship to students, but we don't offer. But school offer your scholarship, and also you can check our website and have one button name is Life in France, and also like a country will offer some different scholarship also. So you also can ask a school will each school will offer the different scholarship.
You can either check the school's website or our schools and programs page on our website, where each school provides information on the program, their main program, and scholarships. I had another question here. How many interviews? I just have this question. How many interviews? I assume it's a question for Join a School in France. As Jiying mentioned earlier in the presentation, it's one and only one interview to all schools that you've been invited for an interview. So one interview, whether you're invited by all 5 of them, 4, 3, 2, or just one. In all cases, you'll be having just one interview. I received another question that I wrote, and I think it's for Emlyon. Is it mandatory to speak French to take the meme program? Mark?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
There's
So,
no
the program
expectation to
isn't-
speak French.
Yeah.
We think it's part of our the advantage of coming to France is that we'll give you some classes in French as a foreign language, but they are not required for you to do the courses. All the courses will be in English, and as I said, we have a range of services to support people looking for internships and jobs in English. But all at the same time, one of the perhaps enriching experiences also coming to France is learning a bit of French, whether that's just to get by in the street or whether that's to go to maybe you end up learning a bit more and start speaking French more fluidly. So it's really depends on the person. But if you want a particular sorts of jobs in France, then you might need to speak French more fluently. But studying with us, no, everything is in English. All the communications from the school, the classes, the assessments, all of those things.
Very good. And actually, it's funny because we've been discussing that with Tanisha just before this interview. Should I have business backgrounds to apply to the meme program? I think, Tanisha, you're the best to answer to that question since.
Tanisha, do you want to answer?
Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely not. I have a educational background in philosophy and languages, so you don't necessarily need a business background. But I did work in marketing for a couple of years before coming here, so I do have a professional experience with business related fields. Um, that just gives you a more holistic understanding of what you want to do. I have plenty of classmates who do not come from a business background. They are engineers, they have studied social sciences, and we are all studying together in the same class, and it's very interesting to exchange ideas.
Mark, would you like to add anything?
Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I was going to support to say, yeah, we have, like I mentioned, that we had this idea of hybridization of knowledge. We want to bring philosophers like Tanisha in and engineers from other places, because that's how we enrich the work, the intellectual environment of the school. But also the big challenges of the future are not going to be solved by people who only do management or even only do philosophy. They're a crossover of lots of different occupations and expertise and métier and studies. And so that's why we want to be a diverse and inclusive in studied environment.
Thank you, Mark. I see that Olivia is asking if it's too late to apply for the 4th round. No, it's not. With Jiying School in France, the deadline is April 17th. I think that Jiying just showed the calendar. Where is it? Can I choose the schools that will receive my application? I think that this question is for Jiying School in France. Would you like to answer that question, Jiying?
Sorry?
The question was about whether it was possible to choose the schools that will receive the Jiying School in France application.
So it's just you apply one application for 5 business schools. So it's 5 opportunity. You don't need to choose each one. So you will apply directly with the 5 business school just with a single application. So it's very simple. And for now, round 4 is deadline is April 17. You still have 1 month to prepare everything, and I think you still have time to finish your application.
Very good. So basically, all the schools will automatically receive your application after admission results. Then you'll have to choose the school you would like to get enrolled in. Maybe a quick last question. Where is it? Yeah, is it easy as an international student to integrate into the school at the beginning? I think that Mark and Tanisha talked about that, but if you would like to add any
Well,
other,
maybe I could start and Tanisha couldn't follow, but
yeah,
well, I think changing. I've lived in. I'm British, but I lived here in France. I lived in South Africa, and I lived again the second time here in France. And moving countries is one of the most amazing experience, but also a challenging experience. But that's what makes it enriching as well. So if you go and live in another country, and so you should be prepared for change. Some things will be different to your normal life, but also but you will become a richer person for that, and that's whichever school you go to in France, or whether you go to whether you end up studying elsewhere in the world, or if you work elsewhere in the world after in the future. At emlyon, we have a series of events around welcome days when students join, and I'm just working on that right now with my colleagues, where the last week of August we'll do a series of integration events to help people join. There's the formal integration events for the whole school, wherever you come from, in the start of September, and then I think Tanisha can correct me if I'm wrong, but sometime I think in late September, early October, there's a international week where we have lots of different events for international students, where we both talk about integration in France, but we also celebrate the international diversity of the school. I don't know what you would say, Tanisha.
Exactly what you said, and adding to it, the early weeks when you come, there are plenty of events, small events happening up until the bigger week, where there are formal integrations where everything is told to you in as much as simple as possible, so that as an international student you are not overwhelmed with a lot of information. And before coming to emlyon as well, there have been plenty of webinars which I attended, which helped me with the housing and how the process needs to be there with the calf and the amelie. So basically the calf that you get after you're renting, and health services, insurances, everything. It makes it very easier. emlyon has a lot of partnerships with banks in the city, so you can easily open a bank account without the hassle of language issues and back and forth with a bank, because there is a school helping you open your bank account and as an international student. So because there was a lot of support from the school, it became easier. I suppose if that was not there, it would have been very scary and overwhelming for students. And I think it becomes easier when there is a support from the school, the active support from the school, actually.
Yeah, but it's something to be prepared for. But every year, thousands and thousands of students come to France, thanks to Campus France and other associations, and it's a place that is welcoming and supports people in their integration into life in France, and then thereafter into the school.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you, Jiying. Thank you, everybody. I think that's a wrap for us. So I thank everybody. I wish you all the very best during your application process. Hopefully, we'll see you very, very soon in France and in Lyon. Merci beaucoup, and see you soon. Thank you so much.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
For
Thank you.
having
Thank you,
us.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.